Hello, viewers on YouTube. I got a special treat. This is some of Hearts Iron 4 multiplayer game, new one, playing as the United States. Took a while to set up, and my friend here is probably getting a wee bit impatient with me, so let's just jump into this. Oh yeah, I can't hit space to unpause in multiplayer. Alright, it's unpaused, so... Excuse me. You doing good, man? You got quiet. I hope I know I kept you waiting for a while.
Yeah, alright.
I don't know if you looked at my focus tree at all. I know you were trying to figure out Mexico's, but I'm going to be doing continuing the New Deal, and I guess WPA because I need political power, and I need to start dealing with the Great Depression. Suspending the persecution so I can just get the WARE group, which costs no political power to sign. I also do need the Two Ocean Navy Act somewhere in the midst of this, and I probably should start. Oh, I can't lobby yet. Need 10 political power saved up, or more than 0.3 daily. All right. Darn it. Oop. Oh, there was something I was gonna do. I almost forgot. Instead of trying to directly control Puerto Rico and Panama and stuff, gonna release Puerto Rico as a puppet, probably. Well, I will eventually be going communist. I can reintegrate them, and then the Mariana Federation, all this.
Yeah.
It'll allow more industrialization. So, and Hawaii. And Puerto Rico. I am not going to give Puerto Rico statehood, instead independence, and then maybe I reintegrate them later. Trying to go communist but avoid civil war, so shouldn't be too much problem. And this way they'll get their own focus trees and they'll develop a lot more. National Integros, the Mariana Federation. That'll get their base stability way up, and when I turn communist, I'll use ideology things to influence them. Poindexter is the guy in charge of Hawaii. What are we, Joseph Poindexter? Oh, that's funny. Like, Poindexter is a, joke for nerd. But whatever. Oh, I had divisions up in Alaska and realized some in Hawaii. Shouldn't need any cold weather localization. Hawaiian division I could have left in place. Though.
Yes. 1 division versus 21 divisions. Who do you think would win?
For what?
Looking at Guatemala right now.
I mean, what, you're gonna justify a war goal on them instead of doing the focuses?
Oh no, not yet. But I definitely plan to.
Because, yeah, you
for
can
the
get
Earth.
3 focuses for only 35 days of. I mean, 3 war goals for only 35 days of focus time. If you do march southwards. I'm doing Continue the New Deal. It's going to be a very slow. This is a democratic socialist path. For those, maybe this will come a shock to you, Core, because I didn't mention this. I don't always. But I am a democratic socialist myself, so elections. But FDR had these great dreams for the United States, but they were betrayed after he died, because the fact of the matter is social democracy does great things, but then it always gets undermined in the end. So nationalizing the biggest corporations kind of eliminates the source of the problem, which is billionaires buying politicians and corrupting the whole system from the bottom up, or top down, or whatever. um, so um, it sounds like, socialism has gotten a dirty name, but it's just literally just nationalizing companies. That's the only required condition that, or turning stuff to workers' co-ops, and not leaving in the hands of big corporations. Most people don't even understand what it is. Anyhow, gonna try and go democratic socialist. The United States, there's democratic socialism is literally the name of the focus. Eventually, and avoid having the Confederacy rise up again, because I don't. Civil wars are bad, and for the United States, it's really bad because huge manpower, huge industry. A lot of people die in a war like that. It's not like a little civil war in Germany or Denmark or some really small country. I don't know, the Mariana Federation, Norwegian Civil War, where they have like 7 divisions in the war. No, this has Civil War, and you have hundreds of thousands dead in a couple months. It's bad. Wait, how can I choose a spare of the Navy camel? Oh, exercises. That's crazy. Yeah. Interesting. I already start committed to superior firepower, and probably go for grand battle plan, because command power income is nice. And U.S. is so huge that no one can spy on me, and it's great for defending your coastline. It's the U.S. You can trench divisions all along. Mounted infantry supply use with trench warfare? That's...
My bad, I was talking with my brother, but anyways.
Oh. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over. I didn't realize.
Oh no, it's fine. I usually just take one earphone off, so.
Yeah.
Alright, 5 days left before Plan of Aqua Preta.
Yeah, I can pause it when you get to that if you need a moment to decide what to do.
Because knowing that the chances of getting volunteers sent to me are definitely a most likely very good chance. I would say.
Just got an event. Motion to fail. Motion to censor FDR in the Senate fails. I just got free support with the Senate. That was a random event that the mayor can get. That'll be hugely useful for getting the Two Ocean Navy Act sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Yeah, the U.S. has this whole mechanism with like the Senate and the Congress and keeping support with them. Drains a lot of political power, but there's actually some nice things you can do with it, like amending the budget to reduce your consumer goods use, research grants to speed up research. Um, in the end, it's actually pretty cool. Someday I'll grant a statehood to Alaska, I guess.
Alright, it is now complete. So,
Right.
I could do exile Khalees or Jeff Maximo, ban political militias, legacy of revolution.
I'd personally recommend Jeff A. Maximo just because you get more political power gain that way than if you exile Calais. Um, while purging bureaucracy is nice, it's a lot of you spend 140 days going down purge the bureaucracy and arresting the general. Um, if you do Jeff and Maximo, you'll get political power and you can focus on like legacy of revolution, the red shirts, getting that early, so that you'll get start taking communism support, or or you can do national bank and start running down your agricultural credit bank, Confederation of Mexican Workers, rent freeze, um,
Well,
Ejercito militias.
well, I have to also kind of do some early, more political things because I also have to deal with the Caudillo Rebellion too because I have a time limit on that. So
Well,
basically, it's saying 150 days, well, 115 days before a civil war.
does it say there's anything you can do to make that mission fail?
Let's see.
Because you actually cannot get the focus that would end the Cadillo tensions before then, anyhow. Like it would take you 140. It would take you 175 days just to arrest General Cedillo. So if it's 115, you might as well just prepare for him to rebel. Well, yeah, it's the other thing. If you arrest him, he won't rebel. But if he does rebel, it's a civil war that you can tramp your military a little. That being said, you'd have to be
Effects of
able to
not
win it.
complete.
I won't be able to help you that early. I thought it was a
Re-
lot later. What?
Effects of not completed. Replace Caudillo tensions moderate with Caudillo tensions high, which is, yeah, civil war.
Yeah, does it say there's anything you can do to reduce the tensions? You'll probably get some events about it, but
There is one way to complete it, which I'm guessing that would basically reduce, which one of the following must be true: has completed focus support General Cedillo or has completed focus arrest General Cedillo. So I either have to support him or
well, those are both fairly far down your focus tree. You can't do either of those in 115 days. Um,
there is two other decisions, but I think that also means civil war. There's the second Cristero War and the second Mexican Revolution.
yeah, those are other things happen. Oh, I see. If you ban political militias, you can buy time, but then you won't be able to do the whole legacy of revolution.
Oh, I see. Okay, so
You might as
I
well
don't.
just you. I mean, I would just let the general rise up and prepare to defeat him. You know, it's gonna be not the
Uh,
easiest, but if you can,
okay, okay. Very much change of plans. So, for both the Cristero War and the Second Mexican Revolution,
the Cristero
they're
War
both
only
af-
happens if you upset the Catholic Church. The Second Mexican Revolution happens if you upset the communists. Since you're going communist, you won't have to worry about that one at all. Um,
so. basically the Second Mexican Revolution gets event Atheist Insurrection, and for the Second Cristero War, it gets event Religious Insurrection.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to. If you're going communist, I'm pretty sure that atheists won't rise up. Um, you have to be careful of the
Yeah,
Catholic Church, and that's what I was saying. You might want to just go the anti-disestablishmentarianism route, and you can pardon the Christo fighters and all that. But yeah, taking Jeffe Maximo will give you a field marshal who should probably Plutarco y Calles, who probably will stay loyal to you if Cadillo rises up. So there's that, and
that
you
is.
know, and um, it allow you to focus on other focuses instead of trying to run down to arresting him.
Yeah, because Jeffe Maximo, from what it already looks like, political power gain plus 30%, construction speed plus 10%, political power gain plus 15%, and daily support for unaligned plus 0.10.
That stuff, that's an advisor. That's if you hire that political advisor. I probably wouldn't do that since that guy's a non-aligned advisor. But yeah, you should be good with taking Jeffe Maximo, anyways, because it doesn't sound like you can stop the guy
Yeah,
from rising up unless you ban political militias. That's the old way. And if you ban
yeah,
political militias, you can't do the red shirts. So, you know, that will prevent you from gaining revolutionary class war. Um,
yeah. And if I go down Jeffe Maximo, I can go to control the army, and then the anti-disestablishmentarianism.
well, you have to repeal the Cowles law first. But in order to take it into establishmentarianism, it looks like. But uh, you will get a bunch of political power, which you might get an event to prevent General Cedillo from rising up quite as soon. Maybe even some way to appease him. I don't know. I don't know if Mexico gets events because it's always been the AI that's played it. But anyways, are you good to unpause again, or now that it's running?
Alright, I'll go down Jeffe Maximo.
Yeah.
Yep, we're good to unpause.
You might have gotten screwed by RNG. I can't tell you. You might not be able to avoid a civil war, like even if you wanted. But if that's the case, that's the case.
Yeah,
I'm sure you can win it.
it really depends. Oh, hey, the good thing is that my stability's going up. Yeah, my ruling popularity is giving me 2.90% more stability than the Cordillo tensions moderate. Though if it goes to high, my stability's gonna decrease pretty fast. So I will still have time to prepare. Though
If
the thing is,
what goes too high, your stability decreases.
the Cordillo tensions. Right now it's moderate, and I'm guessing if it gets high, then it will most likely go to minus 10% instead of minus 5%, so my stability will start decreasing. But right now it is rising, which is good.
Hold on, let me really quick take a look at your screen. I think this is one of those ticking missions where the national spirit gets worse. You might be able to just, if your stability is high enough, you might just be able to avoid the guy rising up altogether. If this might be one of those things that's gated behind stability. I was just going off what you said. If you share your screen, I'll take a look at the mission because I'm a little more familiar with these. I've seen these kind of things before.
So, yeah, I am sharing my screen right now. It says right here, stability currently affected by.
I'm not seeing a screen share right now.
Alright.
You probably have to click 2 buttons to share screen.
Well, let me do this. Now can you see it?
Hold on. I also just realized the recording had no visual for the moment. I'm just fixing that. Now, those of you on YouTube, now you can see the Hearts Iron 4. Not much has happened yet. No, I can't see yet. You hit the share your screen and then confirm or whatever.
Yeah. Just go to Discord and then on the
I mean, we're in a call, but I'm not seeing an option to look at your screen. Hold on. Let me disconnect to restart the call. Oh, there we go. Can you hear me, man?
working.
There we go. It was a weird thing. There were like 2 parallel things. Now I can see your screen. So if you pull up your decisions tab.
Yeah.
And just
Popular Rebellion.
to complete one of the following has completed. Okay, so what happens is the Cadillo tensions get higher, and then once they get high, I think then it takes into something even worse. That's what it is. Yeah, it is. It's not that 111 days you go to civil war. It's 111 days you lose even more stability. I don't know. If you raise your stability enough, you might be able to avoid him rising up, or you might get an event, or you might have to just arrest him if you want to avoid it. But going Jefe Maximo and appeasing the Catholic Church will probably give you the opportunity to do a lot to raise your stability. For one, the political power gain can be used to improve worker conditions to get base stability once you have enough. If I suspect that you won't have a civil war if your stability is high enough. If I'm wrong, it comes down to you have to arrest the guy. It's probably worth fighting him just so that you don't have to exile Calais. So, like I said, you might have at least one civil war. You probably just want to avoid having more than one. Anyways, we'll see what happens, and we can always restart if it goes really bottom up, like you lose the civil war. Although you could just switch to playing as him. I'm not kidding. Like you could literally X out and then rejoin as the guy you just lost the civil war to. It's kind of janky, but there's nothing that prohibits it. Anyways, good 10 pause.
Well, what does Caudillo support exactly? What ruling popularity does he support? Not aligned or
I think it's fascist. I'm not sure, but I think it's fascist.
okay,
Because
well,
your government is not aligned. If you rose up, I'm pretty sure he rises up as a fascist side. So if you reduce fascist support by doing anti-fascist raids, that would also probably make the civil war easier. Because presumably that would mean fewer of the divisions join his side.
Anti-fascist raids.
However, improved worker conditions might also avert it if it's stability gated. I don't know. Anti-fascist raids are probably good, so is improved worker conditions.
I can't even do that anyways because it's -10 base stability in the first place. It's bringing me under 20%, which is basically just guaranteed civil war.
You get a civil war if you go under 20%?
Well, just about, yeah. I mean,
well, unless there's a mission that tells you do. Like Turkey happily sits at 0% stability for a lot of the game, and they don't get a civil war. It's not. There has to be something that actually causes.
Well, we will try anti-fascist
Yeah.
raids. See what, see what happens. It will most likely spike a civil war, but
I think you're thinking
Kaji,
of an older version of the game where civil wars could just happen if your stability was low. Um,
yeah, that,
they don't. That's pretty rare now. Like it can happen, but it's very long mean time to happen. So only if you get really screwed by the random number generator. Um,
yeah. In the older version of the game, if you get under 20%, it's guaranteed civil war.
that hasn't been true for very very long time, so I wouldn't worry about that. Like I said, Turkey happily sits at 0% stability for decades sometimes without a civil war. It's pretty high right now, but once they
And
start running some of their focuses, Turkey's stability will often also once Ataturk dies. Part of the reason their stability is decent right now is because they have 30% stability from their current country leader. Um, Turkey routinely drops to 0% stability, no civil war. Um, so I
uh,
wouldn't worry. um, anyways, oh, I was wondering why I couldn't hear the music. I turned the music volume all the way down. Huh. Oh, geez. Scandal in the House of Representatives. They got a positive event in the Senate, but just lost a bunch of congressmen just through a random event. That sucks. That sucks hard. Uh, the Senate's the harder one to win over in the long run, so cool. Uh, yeah, those events can really screw you over as the United States. Oop. Completely forgot about my Navy for a bit. Start naval reform. Whatever. Nimitz is a commerce rating expert? He's not a weird. Ernst King will be in charge of the Navy. He's also one of my best admirals. Fun stuff.
guessing right now, I don't really have a choice. I'm gonna have to go for the civil war.
I mean, like, as I said, you can do the anti-fascist raids and stuff and improve worker conditions. The higher your stability goes, the more political power you'll gain, and it might be what if you get your stability up high enough, you might be able to avoid the civil war. I don't know. Can't give you any guarantees. But I mean, the guy's a fascist, so if he's gonna choose to oppose the government and try and overthrow it, maybe he deserves to be lined up behind a firing squad. The guy, I mean, he's the worst kind of. He's like a warlord. He's not even. He doesn't have a coherent theory of government. He just wants to steal everything that isn't nailed down and put his cronies in charge. Cedillo was a thug, basically. So, if you know, you arrest him, he goes to prison. He starts a civil war, he gets shot. Firing squad for treason. And I feel no sympathy for him. I do feel bad for all the people who die in this civil war, unfortunately. And if fascist raids will bring that number way down. Alright. And Italy is doing their thing in Ethiopia. They decide to attack the Sultanate of Asa, which doesn't usually happen. But did this time. Just gonna sit on this Navy experience because used for tech use. Sixth Sightseeing Division. Well, that's a weird name for a National Guard division. Just slowly expand the National Guard because they have a lot of infantry divisions. So they're efficient for gaining army XP, and I've disabled them getting artillery or support equipment. Just train with some basic rifles and producing. Bradley is doing exercises down in Houston.
Oh, Jeffy Maxima is about done.
Huh? Cool. Be interesting to see if he gives an event or anything.
One more day. Alright. Nothing really new for what it looks like. I don't know if I can sign him as a... Here. Look at this guy. He did say Jeffy Maxima was...
It'll give you political power gain, which is important. I mean, you're probably not doing too hot with it with your stability and stuff, so that'll really help you expand your military acumen and other stuff like that, which you might need if you have a civil war, but you should be able to win it.
What must we head down next? We can do control the army, which is gain base stability +5. Do legacy of revolution. What's the completion time? Okay, 35 days, and that's an 80 days, so it's just a free 5% stability, so I could, and then afterwards I could get anti-fascist raids in time, so yeah. So basically, I might have gotten good RNG here. I might not have to go for a civil war.
We'll find out what
If I
happens.
do control the army.
I wouldn't worry too much about civil wars as Mexico. Your army isn't that big. You won't lose that many men. And if it happens late enough, I'll have limited intervention, and I'll be able to send you volunteers on lease. So to help make sure you don't lose and you win. Plus, the other side of the Civil War would have the generic focus tree, I believe, and that means they would get
Oh, I could
the
also
ability to
do.
add building slots and factories in the states they control. What?
I could also do one of these reconciliation committee and incite tensions.
Um, this early on, if you're trying to avoid civil war and stuff, reconciliation committee might be good because it'll get you extra stability.
Yeah, or I could just do anti-fascist because once that civil war is over, I won't have, because once I defeat Caudillo and the civil war
Yeah,
is the
that's
only thing
if you
reducing
do
my stability.
reconciliation committee, you'll have a harder time in the civil war. So,
Yeah, so the only person I really, yeah, so it would probably be better to go for a civil war then, just to take out Caudillo,
it's not all you.
and then
It'll be a
at that,
defensive war for you, which means you get 20% war support, which means you can switch to partial mobilization during the civil war instead of having to go to early. Um, that's your economy law I'm referring to, which is one of the most important things to switch early on so that you're not spending all your factors on consumer goods and can spend it building up your industry.
yeah,
So if the Civil War, if you get in a Civil War early with Cadillo, you should be able to partially mobilize. Also raise your conscription law earlier, like all the way up to extensive conscription. Whereas I think as a non-aligned or democracy, you can only go up to limited conscription otherwise. That being said, you're already at 13% war support, and the Reconciliation Committee costs how much war support?
um, 5.
So, yeah, that would drop you to 8. Then you'd be up at 28. Yeah, you could do it and still go to partial mobilization, but you would just lose some. I would focus on raising your stability because that'll get you factory output, that'll get you political power gain, that will get you reduced consumer goods factor once you get over 50%. It'll all help your economic development and military development in the long run. Might make the Civil War a little tougher, but yeah. Um,
So, reconciliation committee?
yeah, that's a decision. I'd suggest it. I would suggest probably control the army for your next.
Yeah, that's what I went
For the
for that.
stability, I would control the army, and for a decision, yeah, reconciliation committee and anti-fascist raids as soon as you have the political power for it, because that'll also increase your stability. And if the civil war does break out, it'll make sure you control more of the military. Um,
Yeah.
the civil war isn't so bad if you control most of the army. So, and that's basically what from a role player perspective you're doing this way. You're raiding the fascists in the army, and you're okay. Germany's going its fascist route. So it is not.
Alright, reconciliation committee is now in effect. Turkey remilitarizes the Turkish Strait.
Yep. The Soviet Union does have the option of telling them no when they can actually attack Turkey over that. They usually don't. In fact, I think the AI is
Oh,
programmed not to, but a player can do
hold
that
up,
if they want in like Puppet Turkey in 1937. That's ridiculous.
hold up.
What?
Archbishop Pascual Diaz passes away.
Oh, you got.
Okay, so this is a choice between stability or factory output.
This is what you mean. It sounds like this is a choice whether strengthen the Catholic Church or weaken it. If you strengthen them,
Uh,
If you take the one that gives stability, then you can take anti-disestablishmentarianism and still enforce the Cowles Law. That's actually like, because you only need to get up to assertive church. And I think you're right now at
I'm weak church.
yeah. So you can get. I think that you get assertive church if you choose the option that gives stability, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So I
but
would grab what?
it it does though give -10% factory output.
I wouldn't worry about that much. You don't have that many military factors right now, anyhow, and that doesn't affect your civilian economy, only your military economy factory output, which most of your economy is civilian right now, and if it helps you avoid a civil war because um, you can do anti-establishmentarianism earlier, um, then that's good. And then you can rewrite the Constitution. You can start pardoning Cristero fighters for the army stuff,
Yeah.
for the army experience and the war support. And I think that also strengthens the Catholic Church, but you can then roll it back with the Cowles Law, enforcing the Cowles Law later, which will weaken the church. And this helps you stay in that sweet, sweet middle ground where you don't have any major penalties either way. So, yeah. But early
Uh,
on, the support of the Catholic Church will help you develop your country economically and politically, and then you can weaken them later.
right, go strengthen the church.
Yeah, if you get an event that lets you strengthen, you should definitely do that because that'll open up a new combination of focuses that you can't get any other way. That will let you both enforce the Cowles Law and do anti-disestablishmentarianism.
Yeah.
And that's
Now that I have assertive church, that's giving +5%. Stability with my ruling party popularity. That's 12.90% stability gains, so I should no longer have to worry about the Cadalo tensions, even if they get the high,
I,
because I should
I don't know if
gain.
the Civil War is I don't know what the threshold of stability is you need, but you still want to focus on stability anyhow because if you get high stability, you'll get lower consumer goods factor, and you get higher political power gains. So I would just keep pushing stability, And anti-fascist rates will get you stability from ruling party popularity too. So it'll also increase communism support very slightly if you're gonna, do that flip later. So
Yeah.
the fascist faction is the most dangerous faction in your nation right now. It's the biggest besides your ruling party, so it's the best one to raid. Um,
Yeah, democracy is just completely out of town right now. It's democracy's not
Democracy is
even a problem.
18%, so you'd want to do fascist first, and that will increase the size of communist democracy and non-aligned. Most of it will go non-aligned, but about half will go the other two, and then a little less than half, and then you'll probably want to do anti-democratic later. You want to alternate democratic and fascist raids. That'll give you the most stability the most quickly. But
I
right now,
believe if I choose anti-fascist raids, that should give me the option for ban fascism, which I think just gets rid of the Caudillo rebellion overall.
I'm not sure about that. I don't think they're actually attached to whether fascism is legal or not.
Well,
Japan bans the naval treaty.
is there a way to see where Caudillo is? Like, is he a general, a field marshal?
He's probably like a general or field marshal. I think I said Japan, if I remember, unless I'm mistaken. Yeah, they're going the unthinkable option, but they withdrew from the naval treaty. That's actually good because that means they'll have a decently powerful navy, and they won't
No,
attack me as communist.
I don't
So
see Caudillo.
I didn't want to have to deal with the Pacific War viewers on YouTube, so I set Japan to
Yeah.
a communist. That'll avoid most threats from Asia, because they will lose control of Manchuria. Manchuria will attack China anyways. They will attack Manchuria. It will end up the status quo, essentially, with AI. And that's if they don't somehow end up in a war with the Great Britain, which can happen if Britain goes King's Party or fascist.
Yeah, so anti-fascist raids. That'll be my next move.
Yep. And you're doing Reconciliation Committee, right?
Yep. Reconciliation Committee is also in effect too, which gives me plus 5% stability for 84 days.
Well,
83.
no, the days is how long it takes for you to get the stability. When it times up, you'll gain the stability and lose the war support. Like the 84 days is telling you in 84 days this will happen. So.
That does make sense. Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, the war support isn't completely useless. It gives you command power income. How much command power do you have right now?
7.
7. Over time, you'll get enough command power to promote officers to general. It's probably expensive for you right now with the politicized military, politicized army. It would probably cost you like 160 command power, but once you take Legacy of Revolution, that'll bring that cost down.
Well, speaking of which, I found out what's majority. Well, I figured out the majority.
The majority what?
I found out what's getting rid of the majority of my war support. It's my command power currently. Because it's so low, war support is minus 69%.
No, that's actually saying that your command power income is reduced by low war support, not the other way around. That's telling you if you hover over command power, that's your command power income. And war support multiplies your base command power income. So you have a certain amount. 0.4 is your normal base, but if you go Grand Battle Plan, like I'm probably going to switch into that, even though that'll cost me some extra army XP, you can get an extra 0.25 from that, and then you can get an extra bit from Quick Improvisation, which I'll probably do, because I like having lots of command power income. It's useful in wars. It's also useful for like recruiting new admirals or promoting up officers who show promise. Is the U.S. trying to get some actual brilliant strategists? Because I only have a couple of them. Kruger, Rose, and Bradley. Bradley's actually also a harsh leader. He's very good. But as Mexico, as Mexico Corps, you probably don't have a lot of generals, and so you'll want to probably hire more guys who start at level 1. You can train up to be better than any of the rest, because if you go Grand Battle Plan, you can recruit new officers, and half of them will start as brilliant strategists or inflexible strategists, and then you can switch later into an army. A Spirit of the Academy that will give them extra like planning, logistics, or attack or defense skill when they level up. So you can get generals who are much better than your current generals, just through training from the lowest ranks. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
really just, can I get the political power fast enough to get anti-fascist raids, or will the Catilla rebellion?
You won't have the rebellion when that happens. You just go up to high tensions. Like, I think you have to, once you get high tensions, then it'll be another 120 days until the rebellion. You should be able to do anti-fascist raids before then if you have any decent income of political power. Like, I have almost none, but that's because of the Great Depression. So,
It says the effective change is stability minus 2%. So, I don't know what that means. Like,
if you're hovering over a political power, the stability factor is how your stability affects your political power income. So, like, I'm at 94% stability, so I get an extra 8% to the base. Which, the way that's calculated is that takes that base of 2 usually, though some spirits can increase the base, and then multiplies that. Like, an extra 10% of 2 would be an extra 0.2. It's not increasing your surplus, which might be pitifully small. It's increasing your base income, which is a much larger number. So, at 32% stability, you're probably suffering a minus 2%, you said, debuff to the base, so that's like 0.04 political power a day you're losing to stability. But if you get to higher stability, you'll have more political power income. Second London Naval Conference is about to happen. Fun. Guess it's good that I hired a chief of the Navy, because I'm going to have to probably redesign my ships with the escalator clause to be... No reason to build carriers or heavy ships that are that expensive, but the escalator clause can influence cruisers. Like, I have the Wichita class, and it's just barely below the cap right now. And there are a few upgrades I like to make that make it more expensive. So, sorry, it's partly talking to viewers, but if you caught that core, I was saying you got the pop-up about the Second London Naval Treaty, right?
No.
Oh, Japan withdrew from the Second London Naval Treaty. It didn't tell you that. You might have the pop-ups disabled.
I have event pop-up and news pop-up there, but I don't have minor pop-up.
You probably want minor pop-ups because this was something that's actually important. I don't know why. It might not be important directly to you as Mexico, but it does affect the world a lot. Because it affects the naval buildup and how much the AI will invest in navies, and also how big of a ship you can build. Almost wishing he wasn't going with the Democrats, because Standard Oil would be nice right about now. Fuel finding tech. As the Americans, it's ridiculous.
So basically, after the Caudillo, well, the first thing of Caudillo Rebellion happens, then literally 10 days after that, the Reconciliation Committee is completed, which gives me more stability. So I'm gonna lose a little stability, but I'm gonna gain more. And plus, anti-fascist rage should definitely help with the Caudillo Rebellion.
I mean, you can't prevent the Caudillo thing from decreasing your stability until when the rebellion happens, you lose that stability buff if it does happen. But building up base stability now will help you in the long run.
Yeah, the good thing though is with Assertive Church giving me plus 5% stability passively.
Yep. I mean, at some point you might want to weaken them again, but for now, that stability will help you because it'll mean fewer debuffs from low stability. And you're doing Control the Army now, right?
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
Speaking of which, oh, it's about done. actually much.
And then you can do anti-disestablishmentarianism to, if you rewrite the Constitution, you can start pardoning Cristero fighters, which will allow you to lean even harder into strengthening the Catholic Church, and it'll get you army experience. Which, do you have an army doctrine yet?
An army. Okay, that just got completed. An army doctrine.
If you click on the officer corps thing, it should be below convoys. And you go to land doctrine. Like, there's 4 options: mobile warfare, superior firepower, all that.
Oh, you mean I know what you're talking about. I'm not sure how to get there. Also, let me do
You won't be able to change anything just yet. It's just in the long run. You'll want to use, when you have enough army XP, like, which you probably have almost none, it's next to command power. Like, how much do you have right now? The only income you would have gotten of army XP is probably from doing military exercises.
army experience. I have 3 right now and plus 0.031 daily.
Yeah. So
army.
that's not very much, but when you eventually when you hire a chief of the army, you'll give a lot more passive army XP income, and then you can choose an army doctrine tree. Like, I'm planning on going Grand Battle Plan.
So let me
command power and also entrenchment. The main counter to Grand Battle Plan is enemy spies, but
okay. I see what it does now. So anti-disestablishmentarianism, basically what it does is it unlocks the decision to transfer the lands to the church.
it also lets you pardon Cristoro fighters. That's the really key thing that you're gonna want. Like, that's really useful.
Yeah. And also, my political power is at 47, so just a little more and I can do the anti-fascist raids. And my stability just went up to 37% for absolutely no reason.
I mean, probably because you just finished Reconciliation Committee.
Here we are. Alright.
Meanwhile, I'm losing political power because I'm doing lobbying. And
okay. I got anti-fascist raids, so now I'm getting so the weekly chain is plus 0.70%, plus 5%, plus 7.90%, plus another 0.70%. So basically my stability is pretty much just about on the line of skyrocketing.
I mean, I wouldn't get too cocky. There'll be setbacks for sure, unfortunately. It's hard to build stability.
The Caudillo Rebellion is mainly the main issue. So transferring lands to a church just gets rid of more stability, so I'm not gonna empower the church any further than what I already have.
Transferring the lands to the church decreases your stability? Did I hear that right?
Yeah. It decreases.
Yeah. Well, that's not the.
It replaces, yeah. It
That,
also replaces assertive church with powerful church.
yeah. I mean, transferring lands to the church isn't something that I would recommend. The reason for anti-establishmentarianism is so
And their decisions
you can
time
rewrite the
out.
Constitution and pardon the Christopher fighters.
Well, now I just got a second London Naval Treaty signed. More money for the army.
This will safeguard peace better than any super battleship. That's the reaction I got for it. But yeah, you're gonna want to work towards rewriting the Constitution so you can pardon the Christopher fighters. And public mass can strengthen the church without reducing your stability. So that's the better way. But I think pardoning the Christopher fighters does, and the reason you want that is because they give you army experience. So that'll help you strengthen your military when you lets you get military doctrines, revise your templates, your division templates. That is, build tank designs, and do things like improve designs of mechanized later.
Right now, when it comes to the decisions I have, Padilla Rebellion's gonna time out soon. Reconciliation Committee is gonna happen in 10 days, which gives me a +5 base stability boost. Anti-fascist raids is over here giving me plus 0.70% weekly stability passive.
Yep. You lose stability up front when you start the raids, but you gain more back. Just base stability, and that's before accounting for the fact that it reduces support for the faction you're raiding. So you should be increasing ruling party popularity a bit from the anti-fascist raids. Well, more in a bit. The raids are a cheap way to reduce their support. It's a cheap way to improve stability. Improve worker conditions will hurt your industrial snowball, but it is actually good to do as well. And depending on how the rounding goes with consumer goods, it might not hurt your industry at all when you have really low factory counts like you do.
If I attend the public, oh no, I can't do that. I have to get powerful church for that.
Well,
I'm guessing my decisions are good.
I mean, when you start pardoning Christopher fighters, like, what does it say?
Pardon. If I pardon them, I gain 2% war support and I get +10 army experience.
Well, yeah, no, but I mean, what are the conditions for it? Like, what does it say you have to do to get it?
Has completed focus, rewrite the Constitution of 1917, and one of the following must be true: powerful church or Catholic state.
So you have to get up to powerful church for it. Well, maybe another event will help. Or, yeah, you'll probably have to wait for an event or something to get from a served church. Or you might have to do transfer lands to church once so that you can start pardoning the fighters. But it'll be worth it in the long run.
Yeah, the only other way to get it would be, well, to get powerful church would be, I'd have to transfer the lands to a church unless an event happens.
Yeah. Because you're going to want to enforce the Cow's Law. The war support is nice. The general is nice. And although abolishing capital punishment isn't terrible, I'm pretty sure, yeah, eventually you're going to want to weaken the church again. So you don't want to enforce the Cow's Law right now, but much further down the line. You want to strengthen the Catholic Church early, and then when it comes time to fight like big wars, then you're going to want the war support.
Yeah, so mainly the next thing I need to do after anti-disestablishmentarianism, I need to rewrite the Constitution of 1917. Okay, then at that point I can go down two paths, which are I can either go down Knights of Columbus or Legion of Christ.
You don't want to do either of those. You're going to want state education later, which means one of the other things, but you can still rewrite the Constitution without doing Knights of Columbus or Legion of Christ. Those are like things to formalize church control, and you probably don't want either of them. State education allows you to get ZIFO, Law and Industrial Promotion, and NAFINSA, which are really good. And engineering schools with 2.
Okay, so I don't think I have to get powerful church because it already says right here unlocks decision pardon Cristero fighter and unlocks decision attend public mass.
Well, yeah, but there's 2 conditions, right? You have to both rewrite the Constitution and have a powerful church to pardon the fighters. Am I wrong about that? Did I misunderstand? Some things have multiple conditions to run.
That says it unlocks the decision. If I go to decisions, in order to pardon, prerequisites less than 95 war support has completed the focus, rewrite the Constitution of 1917. One of the following must be true: has national spirit, powerful church, or has national spirit, Catholics.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you do have to transfer the lands once to start pardoning fighters. Minus an event, but you also have to run the focus. I mean, it's a powerful thing, but there's, there's cost to it.
So we empower the church. We empower the church just for a bit, get the powerful, do pardon Cristero fighter, and then after we do that,
you can do it more than once. You can pardon the Cristero fighter 20 times if you want. I'm not kidding. In fact, that's not at all unrealistic if the game goes a real long time. Or at least a dozen times. You can pardon Cristero fighters over and over and over. And you should. It's a really good decision because of the army experience and the war support. You get war support from it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you're going to want that war support eventually. Mexico is unique in that it has the ability to grind unlimited war support, which no other nation pretty much except for Turkey can do. Turkey and Mexico are the 2 nations that have decisions they can run infinitely to build war support. And I believe Turkey has to go down like a certain political path to get those decisions as well. I don't think they can do it if they go their democratic path, but they get nationalism if they take their historical Kemalist route. And, nationalism gives them base war support. So, but Turkey is hard because they have, you think Mexico's got some hard debuffs. Turkey's got like the worst, and it's got a obnoxious focus tree. There's no other word for it. Mexico's is complicated, but not horrendous when you get the hang of it. Turkey's is just humongous and really hard to understand. You can take a look at it if you want. It is crazy. I think I've got a hang on it, but it took me a long time to figure it out. So, it takes so long to develop industrially and stuff. Like Mexico is more fun. So, hey, out of curiosity, if you hover over your different parties, your political parties, who are the lead? Do any of them have a leader that starts with the name Salvador?
For my political.
Yeah, because you can see.
The party leader for the fascist leader is Salvador Abascal.
I see. So yeah, if you end up fascist for any reason and not via Cadillo rebellion, if you elected a fascist government via the gold shirts, you wouldn't be able to enforce the Callas law. Okay. Otherwise, you're fine, and you're planning on communist, so you shouldn't have to worry about
Yeah,
Um,
my party leader for communists is Hernan Laborde.
yeah, should be fine. He doesn't cause any issues with.
Oh, Ethiopia gone through civil war. Okay, a lot of things just happened, and
Yeah.
what?
So Ethiopia is a faction of the Ethiopians are siding with the Italians. Like a collaborator state just formed, and a civil war happened within the war against Italy between the collaborators and those who are still trying to defeat the Italians. The that means that Ethiopia took its fascist political path. Um,
So Ethiopia is going fascist, or trying to.
yeah.
Well, it's going fascist, and Italy's already fascist. That means most likely Ethiopia's gonna, well, fascist Ethiopia's gonna win. What even was Ethiopia? What even was Ethiopia to begin with? Oh, it's not
Ethiopia
aligned.
starts off non-aligned, I believe.
Yeah.
I suspended
Uh,
the persecution, but I forgot that I need Agricultural Adjustment Act to shoot.
oh,
Oh well. I cannot run
before I do
focuses for a
rewrite,
tiny bit.
before I do rewrite the Constitution, I'm gonna look at these other choices. Enforce the Kelly's Law. Salvador Basel is not the current country leader. Mutually exclusive. Gain base war support plus 5%. Replace assertive church with weak church. Stability minus 5. Factory output plus 10%. We repeal the Achilles law. Stability still minus 5%. Gain base stability 5%. Huh? So I gain 5% and I also lose 5% stability. Okay, yeah, that completely makes sense.
What are you talking about? You're talking about the.
Repeal the Kelly's law. I gain 5% stability, but I also lose 5% stability.
They're different things. One is national spirit stability, the other is base stability. So national spirits and base, they work different ways. You can, importantly, base can only go between 0 and 100. And in certain conditions, that can end up like when you're at war, you can be at 100% base stability, but less than 100% stability because of being at war hurting your stability. You need national spirits to stay at 100% in that situation. Similarly, you can be at 0% base stability and have spirits that lower your stability even further, technically into negatives, but there's no such thing as negative stability. You just sit at 0%. So there are different things. Repealing the Cow's law doesn't give you 5% stability, direct base stability. It changes the sort of church national spirit for powerful church national spirit, which you no longer get a stability buff at powerful church, but you get a consumer goods factor buff, which helps your industry. I see. Um, what focus are you running right now, by the way, Core? You just probably finished one.
Yeah, I just finished the anti-disestablishmentarianism. So
Yeah, and
I
so probably
repealed.
rewriting the
Yeah,
Constitution so that you can
these.
pardon those you can pardon those fighters, and also you're probably gonna have to transfer lands to the church. Um, but how long does that decision take to transfer lands to the church?
Let me. It takes active for 90 days.
Okay, so you'll have to plan a little ahead, but um, I, you don't need the army experience immediately. So what I would do is save up some political power and transfer the lands to the church when you're ready to start pardoning Christo fighters, because it does cost political power to do it. I wouldn't do it right away. right this second.
Yeah.
Um, well, no, but if you attend public mass, how much political power do you have stored up?
27.
27. Yeah, that's not actually not that much. So yeah, I would do that. I would wait a little bit after, but you might do rewrite the Constitution and then Legacy of Revolution and the red shirts. Um, the red shirts will weaken the that will weaken the church. Uh, yeah, so you have to transfer the lands to the church in order to be able to still pardon the Christo fighters while doing it. So yeah,
Yeah, but I mean,
you probably want to
basically,
wait. But you could do Legacy of Revolution and Revolutionary Women. Um, or you could get the National Bank, Agricultural Credit Union, um, Confederation Mexican Workers. That'll give you some political power. Like, none of this will directly benefit you, but it'll get you political power and um, help you run down some focuses you're gonna want to run later.
yeah,
Um,
though the main goal here is, well, the go communism.
yeah, but for now you're building stability and getting war support and strengthening your army. Um, if you go
Yeah,
communism via civil war and you get high enough war support first, um, I think even though you declare the war, you count as a defensive war. So if you can get up to 30% war support and then start that war, you can go into war economy during the Civil War, and
yeah.
that's pretty cool. Although
The good thing is, uh, world tensions is already increasing my war support.
a little bit, yeah, and that'll help too. Because if your war support drops back below 50% after the war, you can actually get demobilization thing. So yeah, you want to build up war support is the point, and you got to think really far ahead because that takes time. So the order you do these things doesn't matter a ton, but Legacy Revolution doesn't really benefit you directly, but it will let you hire um, generals cheaper. Uh, but National Bank, Confederation Mexican Workers will let you hire a political advisor who starts boosting communism support. So if you're anxious to start building the communism support, you might consider doing that. He also helps your industry a little bit. So if you start doing National Bank, Agricultural Credit Union, like you don't have to do anti-establishmentarians in this second. Um, or you can. I mean, sorry, you don't have to rewrite the Constitution in a second, but or you can, just to make sure that the decisions are available and see it really doesn't matter that much. Um,
Yeah. So
you got anti-establishmentarianism while the church was assertive, and that will guarantee options down the line to rewrite the Constitution, which it may be more work to strengthen the church again in the future, but you've kind of guaranteed that that's available, if nothing else.
yeah,
Protected yourself against RNG, so you might do the national bank now. Meanwhile, I'm
yeah.
doing nothing, I guess, or well, no, I could do WPA.
What I'm doing right now is rewrite the Constitution, but I could switch that over real quick to National Bank, and then it was, yeah, Agricultural Credit Bank, right?
Yeah, yeah, you can cancel if you're less than 10 days in, and it won't cost you anything. Like, yeah, I screwed up because I was focused on your thing, and I spent the persecution a little too soon, not realizing that all I did was handicap myself by hurting my stability. Um, Anyways,
The Cadillo Rebellion is in 10 days. Reconciliation Committee is in 20 days.
is it a rebellion or is it just another taking of the tensions? That's probably
It just says
just taking the
replace.
tensions up to high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think, after that one, the next one's the Rebellion.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna actually do War Department when I think about it. I didn't expect to get that event that would increase my support with the representatives. I got it. I can grab the Two Ocean Navy now. Hmm. On to Harrow Bouters quickly. As quickly as possible so I can start getting communist support. That'll let me desegregate the armed forces early, do the Representation Act, and they can grab women intervention. That will fire all Bowder. Oh boy. So I need a lot of support before I do that. Anyways. Yep, but Germany going Nazi and you know, stuff happening in Europe. I guess we're gonna have to eventually put some attention there at some point.
Yeah. You do plan on sending volunteers to the communist Spain once the Civil War starts?
When you have your civil war you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about Spain when the communists.
I'm prohibited from saying volunteers yet. I have to take limited interventionism before I can do that. And in order to take limited interventionism and not lock myself out of going communist, I need to build communist support first from a certain advisor. So,
Yeah.
right now I am
Oh,
trying to
Cordelia is
take
done.
right now I'm trying to strengthen the Navy, to Ocean Navy Act. Because I got an event that boosted my support in Congress. If I hadn't gotten it, I would have just sat and not done any focuses to get that communist guy as soon as possible, so that I can get limited intervention sooner.
Okay, well, the good news is the Cordelia rebellion didn't really do anything. It just increased the.
Not at that level, but you get another ticking time bomb if you elect it. Will probably be an actual concern. The mission should have rolled over, and now it says something else will happen. Because tensions are high right now, but they're not
aligned to them.
Like, what does it say? If you go to decisions, what is it saying now?
It's saying the General Sant Umino Cedillo and the Caudillos aligned to him have acted independently of the central government for many years.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about the flavor text. I'm saying like what is the decisions that are displayed or the missions? Is there anything below that, or is it just text?
No, there's nothing else. It still says to complete. It has complete focus for General Cedillo on arrest General Cedillo.
Oh, is it? It has a mission and there's like a check mark or a red X through it right now.
Yeah, there's a red X for it right now.
Yeah, so in a couple days, probably you get another mission. Probably either like raise tensions to very high, if that's possible, or tell you how long until your civil war starts.
Okay, so now that my research is complete for that, should I do concentrate in industry?
Yeah, concentrated industry is great because you can raise your conscription a lot earlier without crippling your industry, your factory output. That is. And Mexico has a very weak industry, so and not a lot of manpower either. I like it for that. There's a lot of reasons to like it, honestly. Yeah. Oh, lovely. Norway is trying to go fascist. That's great. And with Germany trying to go fascist, they just might succeed.
Well, it's gone. Oh, there's the other one. Cadillo Rebellion, 150 days. Effects if not completed. Replace Condilio tensions high with Condilio tensions very high.
Okay.
Stability minus 3%.
Yeah. So you're going to get another thing that's going to decrease your stability, and then after that, there might be a chance of a civil war if your stability is not high enough. Is probably what it is. It's yeah. Hence, Cowes will probably be beneficial, as you know, in this regard, it gives you political power, which you can put into things like improving working conditions and anti-fascist raids. Although actually, you should probably do anti-democratic raids next time you have 50 political power. Do you have 50 yet?
Yeah, I have 50.
Yeah, then you should probably start running anti-democratic raids. You can wait a little bit if you want for... I would probably just do it right away. so you can get that
Yeah.
stability that it gives you and increase your support for non-aligned. Because for now, non-aligned is currently your ruling party. And how is your construction queue going? How is your industrial buildup?
It's going. Nothing's really happened so far.
Your
Still building billion factories.
did you build infrastructure where you're building the factories ahead of time?
The infrastructure's in Qui. Oh, that just got completed.
Well, because you generally want to build the infrastructure before you build the factories. It makes the factories cheaper to build, right? Where are you building the factories?
I'm currently just building them. Otto von Habsburg.
Yeah,
Returns with a
Austria
federal
is trying to resurrect the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Fun. I mean, whatever. It makes it harder for the Nazis to take over Austria, so can't complain too much.
I'm building the infrastructure mainly. Every city other than the one with 60% infrastructure, the rest of them I'm building it. Well, I have infrastructure queued currently.
Hold on, just if you share your screen, I'll point out what, because it'll be just easier.
My screen should still be sharing.
Oh, okay, hold on. Watch stream. Oh yeah. I didn't realize you were still. Oh, you see, you've got the infrastructure at the end. Do you want infrastructure before the factories, or else they won't benefit building the factories at all? Although you have only 5 factories that are actually able to build stuff. Yeah, so maybe you do want to build a factory or two first. If you scroll up to the top of the list, because you build stuff from the top down on that list. So if you scroll all the way up, yeah, you're building in Guerrero. I would just cancel all that infrastructure because it's way too many things are queued and it's not even multiple levels and it's just cluttering the interface. So I would cancel all those right now, and you gotta have a list that's like organized, and you can build more than one of something. You don't have to build you don't have to build just one level of infrastructure, just one factory in a state. In fact, it's inefficient to do it the way you're doing, where you're dispersing your industry all over the country. Hold on. Sorry, you said you played the game a bunch before, so I didn't know if you knew anything about the industrial strategy. I would cancel the military factories too. It's a really long queue and it makes it hard to reorganize things if you have that many things in queue. Like I have a decent long queue, but I have like 45 factories or something insane building. Even in the Great Depression, America is a monster economy, and only get better as they actually deal with that. If I wasn't trying so hard to boost communist support early, so I could then switch into limited interventionism without locking my path, I would probably, in fact, I would cancel like the bottom 5 civilian factories too. You're trying to get the queue nice and short. Now if you click on the infrastructure thing, the state buildings infrastructure, if you click on it, it'll change your view. And you see how the numbers like 6 of 6, that tells you build slots, right?
Yeah.
Where do you have a lot of empty build slots? It's the state you're already building factories, but you could use some Guerrera, but up in the north, you also you have some oil. I forget if someone's. Hold on, I'll check it myself. In Monterey, the oil goes to me. Oh, lovely. Well, I wouldn't mind it. Talupius also has some build slots. So what I would do is I would probably add 3 levels of infrastructure in Tamupulias, followed by Monterey. You can shift click to just queue up 3 at once. Doesn't really matter since you're going to rearrange them, which you click first here. But that'll queue up and the state to the southeast of that.
So
The other one as oil, because the oil is valuable.
this one?
Yeah. And the state to southeast of that with 15 oil as well, probably. Those 3 states. Because you're going to want to just do a limited concentrate industrialization program. And let's see. Do you get to keep the oil in Veracruz there? No, it goes to the British. Okay. So I would then drag the Tempulius, because that has the most oil, and it goes to me, which will help me, and I'll be helping you with long leads later. I would drag that right below the Guerrero civilian factory. You're building. I would drag it up in the queue. You probably need to click, and hold and release. And then I would do the. See that there's the plus sign by the Tempulius factory, the civilian factory with the like steel beam. You see there's the little plus thing.
Yeah.
2 down, Tamaulipas.
Yeah.
Increase amount, and I would shift click or just click until it maximizes. It doesn't matter. Shift click will save you, and then drag that right below the Tamaulipas. So the infrastructure, while it won't directly add to your civilian factory output, it'll make the next. Each level of infrastructure makes anything else, including other infrastructure, cheaper. So that the first level of infrastructure will make the second cheaper, the second make the third cheaper, and the third will make your civilian factories cheaper. And then after that, you probably want to start on the Veracruz, or or the Coelho, actually. The I'm butchering this. Coahuila. You probably want to move that infrastructure below the Tamaulipas civilian.
This one?
To the 4th spot in the queue. You probably want to move the second to last infrastructure to the 4th spot in the queue, right below the thing that has 3 factories.
Alrighty.
No, the infrastructure, the thing that looks like a road. You're going to want to click and drag that up there, and then drag the civilian factory right below it, so that as soon as you finish the infrastructure, you'll start in the factories there. And you're probably going to want to maximize that as well, so you build like 3 more factories there.
Oh, what'd you say?
You're going to want to increase the number of factories, like with the plus sign, until you as high as you can on there. Yeah, 3. And then I would finally with Veracruz, I would probably do the same thing. Drag it below Coahuila. And then I would You don't have anything queue there, so it queue up 3 civilian factories in Koahiu, and I would cancel the other 3 factories at the bottom. Or actually, you do have. No, that's Chihuahua. Yeah, so I would cancel the other 3 factories that are at the very bottom of your queue, and instead add 3 in the state where you're in Veracruz, and that'll get you 9 factories plus the one you're working on, so that get you 10, and some of those will go to civilian industry right now, about a third, but that'll get you up to like 12 for your build queue, which is good, and it'll get better as you improve stability and mobilize your economy. Yeah.
Veracruz, I just.
That's right there, east of Mexico City, and I would shift right click, shift left click, and that'll get you. Yep, 3 factories. Yeah, and that's more efficient because the infrastructure gives you a discount, but when you only have 5 factories, you probably want to complete a 6th factory like you're doing before you start an infrastructure. That's the way the math works from what I've seen on calculations or whatever. So that's fine. You didn't mess anything up yet, but and then the infrastructure. But now when you have like your 6th factory, which if you hover over consumer goods, what does it say for consumer goods? There. If you hover over the number 4, just to make sure that 5th factory doesn't go right into consumer goods. 35% of our 12 civilian and military. They expect 4. Yeah, you should keep the next factory. So yeah, this is perfect, and that's probably about the fastest you can industrialize your country, and you'll get some oil as a byproduct, which I currently have the resource rights, but later you'll be able to nationalize those oil fields. Or pursue Dutch-British Shell if the British are being friendly. Like, it depends what political path they go, whether that would be worth it or not. But that would let you purchase Belize, which is nice, at the cost of not getting all your oil. And if you try and nationalize the oil, the British could declare war on you. That's the other thing. If you nationalize the oil fields, I'll be fine with it, but the British might invade. So, just expanding the oil fields and leaving the resource rights in Veracruz with the British is not necessarily a terrible thing. I'll send you Lend-Lease, which will probably more than make up for the oil, and you can buy oil from me if you need it from the Texas oil fields. But the big thing is purchasing Belize, since that's another area that you can then actually core if you want via decision, or you can release it as a communist puppet once you're communist, I think. I don't think you're restricted from doing that. So, anyhow. And I'm pause again if that's cool.
Yep.
Alright. Cool. Forgot. So, yeah, sorry to any viewers on YouTube is guiding Core through some industrial strategist game. It's very finicky. It's kind of annoying the way it is like that, but
Oh yeah, that's right. I need to choose my. Should I go agricultural credit bank or rewrite the constitution?
Agricultural credit bank probably, because you're gonna want to get that political support that comes in the next focus after it. Political power. It'll be useful for decisions, and that'll help you to like actually have the political power to pardon Cristero fighters. So yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Do I hear a dog?
Yeah,
Aw.
my
And
doggy.
dogs are awesome. I love dogs.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the Spanish Civil War should break out in not too long. Uh, as a human player, you can delay it a little further. I've delayed it as far as January of 37, but the AI usually doesn't successfully delay it that long. So, yeah, it is what it is, I guess. Oh, almost to my fuel cap. Guess I finished training my Air Force. Lovely. Can't waste fuel, or I'd ask if you wanted some. Core. When I can do unlease, maybe I can unlease fuel. Though I'm not sure if it works correctly.
We can negotiate licenses. Oh, we can offer. I can offer you docking rights.
That would just lead to my ships using your. Do you even have any dockyards? You do. What?
Actually, yeah, I do quite a bit actually.
You have two. Sorry, not dockyards, not naval bases. You have two dockyards. What are you building with them, by the way?
Nothing.
You're just building convoys, I guess? Because it says, my intel says you're building something. Looks like convoys. Other ship production, it says, which usually...
Production. Oh yeah, well, only two convoy. Well, only two things are convoys, but yeah.
Yeah, so you're building convoys. When you get some ship designs, you can start building a tiny little navy, a few destroyers. I'd donate you ships if I could, but, you know, I don't have that ability. So,
I mean,
even if we were at
honestly,
war...
I wouldn't be bad knowing I'm going for countries that are completely vulnerable to water or, well, naval attacks, naval invasions.
I mean, yeah, your navy is useful, so yeah, if you're gonna attack those Central American countries, so yeah, destroyers, heavy cruisers for shore bombardment, or even a battleship cruiser, maybe not a battleship, but a battle cruiser, maybe.
Yeah.
just realized I don't have anything selected for new. Cruiser Division 3. Got all these ships in production. They don't have a task force assigned. That thing's slow.
Port artillery is being stockpiled. God, I wonder what playing Gongsi would be like now. Oh, I wonder what playing as Gongsi would be like.
Hard. Let me put it that way. You can't afford to not immediately worry about getting attacked. It's brutal. Sorry, I'm just looking at my Navy stuff right now. Just putting on my main destroyer. Anyways, I'm paused again. Sorry to keep waiting. The Guanxi collects in a fairly tough situation because there's a very reasonable chance that nationalist China decides to attack them. And if they do, there's very little they can do to oppose that, actually. They're just kind of screwed.
Still don't have a lot of political power.
Yeah, I mean, these days, especially since the political power system is, well, since the MIO system is reworked, so assigning MIOs to research costs political power. It's always scarce. You're doing industry stuff, so you haven't had the chance to assign MIOs yet, right? You were just doing industry.
What?
I said you were running industry with your tech, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm completely running industry with my research right now. The construction one is almost complete, which would be good for the construction speed. Then my concentrated industry is it ain't gonna be done anytime soon. Agricultural credit thing is like, it's getting there. Anti-fascist reasons in 36 days. I have 117 days left to deal with the Caudillo rebellion, which I'm guessing the only really way to do that is to transfer lands to church and then pardon Cristero fighters.
Sorry, say that again. I
Um,
have trouble focusing sometimes when I'm on COVID.
I I still have anti-fascist reasons in 36 days. Caudillo rebellion has 117 days left for, well, the second phase of it. Yeah, transfer lands, which I'm gonna have to do in order to pardon Cristero fighters. And also, by the way, I do also want to say it's 6:35 a.m. for me, so then
Oh.
usually 6 or 7 is just normally a time I go to sleep, so I'm pretty tired.
Oh, jeez. I'm sorry. Do you need to call this soon?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Yeah. I
It,
was like looking at different things and I didn't realize.
I usually stay up till around this time. Usually up to at least until 6. And that's when I usually go to bed, 6, 7-ish.
Yeah. Um. Hmm. All right. Well, I can save it and yeah, I can pick it back up later. I probably have to at least lay down for a bit myself and try and rest a little. It's around
Yeah,
it's the same time here. I'm just kind of an
yeah,
insomniac these days, and my sleep cycle's all over the place. So,
yeah, same here.
but yeah, I'm having trouble focusing. I didn't think to look at the clock and realize that might be a contributing factor. Um, this give me more time to think about where I was and what I was doing and my strategy, and come back faster and more better, quicker.
Uh,
I don't know.
HOI4 is a big time waging game,
Yeah,
that's for sure.
it definitely can be. But yeah, thanks for playing, man, and we'll pick this up again sometime when you're free, hopefully soon. But I understand how life is, so
Knowing that it's the weekend, it's Saturday, so
maybe tomorrow or
yeah, because I wake up at like
maybe not.
normally 3,
Yeah.
probably 4 p.m. But I'm usually always free during the weekends. Well, most of the time I'm free because, well, I go to a community school, so I just go in whenever. It just It's just I do have to spend some time on.
Well, definitely don't
Well,
neglect your studies. Anyways, wish you the best, man. And to those watching
yeah.
YouTube, also wish you folks the best. Ciao. uh, kind of